Nakamura is actually opening a play tonight in Rio. And I talked to him, he was really happy, but he's divided in two parts of his life, the play and the film. The play will run for 1 month, and then in Rio and Sao and then in November he's back full time on the film. But we meet next week in London. So he sent you all big visions. Kisses.
Udo?
Yes. Well, you hardly see me in the movie. But I want to explain why I'm in the movie. We made a great movie together, which plays tonight, where I have a very big role. And I'm an actor, if you finally find a director like him or Lars von Trier, you doesn't matter how big your role is. You become part of the movie. And in the movie BACURAU, as I said, I was the first time in Brazil, 4 weeks, and I had a great time. All the actors, everything was so real. And then when we stayed, of course, in contact, we're friends now, and when this movie came, I know it's a small role, but I have done so many good work before, so it doesn't really matter. I will work with him again and again and again. Even if I start shaking, he will write a role me shaking, and that's what? I'm talking quiet, and that's why and it's amazing. And Wagner, oh my God.
There are no small roles in this film.
There is no small role, there are only small actors. But I know. So no, and it's his talking, not mine. And Wagner is amazing. It's amazing in this film, and I had a good time in Brazil. So I talked enough because I explained to you why I have a small role. So that's it. But I had a good time. Thank you very much.
But Conrad, did you have Udo in mind when you started playing?
Well, I wrote the role. I wrote the film for Wagner. It was tailor-made for him. And then, as I was writing the script, it just happened that two other characters, I just could not help not think about the people I really wanted to play. One was Sebastian. I couldn't stop thinking about Tanya because we met in BACURAU, and I wrote Sebastian is actually Tanya. And when I wrote the script, I wasn't sure she would be able to play the role because she's not professionally trained. But of course, she was amazing, and she's in the film. And the third role I wrote, and I just could not help not think of the actor, was the German tailor, Udo Kier. So yeah, that role for me is a very important role because the city has a strong Jewish community. I grew up with many members of this community. And I remember when I was a little kid, my father used to go to a tailor. He was a Romanian tailor. And I never forgot this man. And then it just happens that when you're writing a script, you kind of channel memories and stories that you have heard. And then I really loved the character that Udo plays. The other thing is that it's my own personal observation. I really find that the far right, maybe it's a Brazilian thing, but the far right in Brazil, they have a lot of difficulty in getting the facts straight. So Euclides was a bigger than life character. He, for some reason, believes that this German Jew was a German soldier in the Second World War.
Which he respects.
Which he respects, yeah. And then Hans, he kind of plays the game. It's a complex situation, and I just love the way Udo. I just love the sequence, and I love the way Udo plays Hans. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Going back to Tanya for a second, I mean, she is such a scene stealer, and you're right, she's in BACURAU, and she just got like such a nice applause in this room, and she's not even here. From BACURAU to this, how did you, make sure that she would want to do it, or where did you find her for BACURAU?
BACURAU was another incredibly happy experience that we did making that film. We shot for almost 3 months in Senegal, September. And we worked with a number of amazing people from locals. And Tanya was one of them. She has one line in BACURAU, which to this day is still a meme in Brazil. Everybody remembers that line, and she has another important moment towards the end of the film. We always kept contact, not only with her, but with so many people from the region. We still have a WhatsApp group. And she's just an amazing person. Leonardo, a good friend, was an assistant director in this film. He made his own film and he invited her to play a role, and it's a beautiful role. And then I showed him the script and I said, do you think she would play Sebastian? Because she is Sebastian. I even wrote in the script a voice of 6 years of cigarettes. And then she came over to Recife. She lives about 5 hours on the drive. And it was a wonderful experience. And she's a star now in Brazil. The film hasn't even opened, she's already a
I
star.
think she's going to be a star here.
Yeah, she's amazing.
And I did want to ask, so all of it is shot in Recife?
We shot 2 days in São Paulo and 1 day in Brasilia, but 97% is location.
The way you shoot that city, to me, and I hope everyone else feels it too, in all of your films, makes it a destination. To me, it's like a Los Angeles, a New York, and I'm like, I need to go there, and I need to go to the Cinema Luis.
Well, yeah, it's, I mean, if you put the camera in the right place, and that applies to all cities. All my life of cinephilia, I visited locations in New York or in Paris, and I go, oh, that looks different. Because it's the right lenses and the right angle. But I love the idea that the city is a character.
It's around all your films.
It's in all my films, but it also comes from the way that I look at cinema. Los Angeles, for example, needless to say, it is a movie character. There's so many characters in so many movies. And of course I'm fascinated by that. I think of Madrid and I think of, Moldova and Tie Me Up, Tie Me Down, and Women on the Verge of Straight Down. And each city has its own character, and often they have been shot. And they have, helped tell stories. And I'm happy that, I think it's pretty well shot, my city.
I think so too. And going from Pictures of Ghosts, which I think you were writing this during Pictures of Ghosts, doing all of that research, I am curious about the 2 young women who are also researching and listening to these archives, and if there was anything, or many things that you you read that you were like, I need to find out what happened here, or these stories that are part of my history, what happened here?
Yeah, I spent 7 years working on Pictures of Ghosts. It was one of these films that do not have a script. It's just basically all you can find, and the more I found, the more I thought that I might have an interesting film. I spent many years looking at my own videotapes and negatives and going to the public archive to look at newspaper. And something beautiful happened. The memories I had from childhood, and I was lucky to be a young cinephile, and the way I got to know the downtown area was basically because I was taken to the cinema all the time. I reconnected with the memories that I saw on record, on the archives. And that, of course, led me to making Pictures of Ghosts. But it also gave me an emotional basis on which I worked to write the script for The Secret Agent. So they're very different films, but they have the same heart. So it was a really interesting experience working on both films at the same time and writing the script when I was making the other film. The two students, I think they're myself, and I'm also the son of a historian, so I grew up listening to stories of how my mother found information which was hard to put together, you know. During the research, not the research, but you look at old newspapers and they're the closest thing that you can get to time travel, because, for example, I remember this, I remember a photograph of a woman in 1974. She was socialite, but it was a very striking picture of this woman. She was a very beautiful woman, and she had a very interesting face. I think she was 24 in 1974, and then I just got her name and checked on the database, and then I discovered that she died at 70 something in 2015. And then there was a photograph of her. So by making on the same day the same person separated by so many years is something that I found quite startling and quite strong. And that's probably why the idea to end the film the way it ends came up. You know, I tried to write an ambush scene, but couldn't even finish. I did not want to shoot that scene, and I just felt that it would be stronger and more meaningful about time and about truth if I did it the way it's in the film. Just looking at a cold, impersonal piece of news on newspaper, and all the information is incredibly inaccurate or wrong. Every bit of information in the newspapers in the film is inaccurate or simply a fantasy.
Well, I think leading to that, and then Wagner comes out with the Crow, and he's playing Fernando. It's like, to me, the most important and like chilling part of it. And I've thought about it so much, and how you can have your dad's face, and then be like, I don't know that man, and not like understand or know your history, or how like everything in the world led to like those two people meeting.
It's Wagner really, he really moved me there, because he never told me he had been working on the perfect accent. Of course, you do not understand Portuguese, but he has the perfect accent from the city, from where I come from, and he does not have that accent. His accent is from Salvador, changed by changed by many years living in Rio and changed by many years living in LA. So he has a perfect accent for a Brazilian, of course, but he simply does not have that accent. And then when first take, he opens his mouth, and I was really, really moved. Because it felt like something magical. How is he doing this? How did he nail this without ever telling me? You should have told me, but you're amazing. How do you do this? It was everybody in the crew was like,
That's why it's the perfect secret.
yeah, Wagner is amazing.
Well, you both watched it here tonight. Was there anything that you saw new or anything that you were just amazed by Kleber doing all over again?
No, I was like to watch because I haven't seen the movie, so I saw it like you for the first time. And Wagner is amazing, and that's what I mean. I know his work because from BACURAU. And so we know each other, so we worked for weeks in BACURAU. That's when I liked what we did there. So I was watching, I know his talent because we worked together before. But Wagner I didn't know, so I watched him very much tonight, and it's amazing because it's believable. And I myself have never been to acting school, but I became a professor teaching acting because talent is something you cannot learn. You have it or you don't have it. You can learn a certain technology, technically, but no. And to watch him tonight, and the whole film, of course, was fantastic. But this Wagner is in every scene, there's nothing wrong. He is the character in the whole movie, and I have to let him know that also, not only you. I liked it, that's all I can say.
Well, before we watch BACURAU, is there anything you want to prepare the audience for, or just let them go into it?
BACURAU was shot in 2018, and it was developed for 9 years, and it's a film that I co-wrote and co-directed with Juliana Lopez, who's a good friend, someone I love very much, and it came out. It was shot the year Bolsonaro was elected. I'm sorry I have to say that. And then it came out on his first year in power, and it seemed to capture a strange mood in the country, and it became it was a huge, it was a big film. We made we sold close to 1 million tickets, which is a lot for a Brazilian film, particularly one which is rather unusual in many ways. And it's a film I like very much, and it comes from many of myself and Juliano's love for genre cinema and Carpenter, Australian cinema from the 70s, Brazilian cinema from the 60s and the 70s. It's just a collection of many different aspects of cinema that we love. And it was the first time that I shot with anamorphic Panavision lenses, which is something that I really, really love. And the second time was with Secret Agent. It gives me history, because I think the modern lenses are too perfect, and too clean, and too high resolution. Of course, friends and colleagues love exactly this, and that's what I dislike about them. The modern lenses. And I love those lenses. They are wonderfully and perfectly imperfect. That's why I love to shoot with them. Yeah, I love BACURAU. It is a little violent, I'm sorry, for those who are Swedish.
Here, beyond that.
It's just a provocation. But yeah, it's a film that I like very much, and I'm very proud of it. Thank you very much for showing this.
No, thank you.
These two.